The mysterious Monaka, the talk of the town in our community for the past few weeks. What is the secret that Beerus and Whis are hiding about Monaka's true identity? Everybody has had their theories throughout the interwebs, but on this video, we compile the top 7 fan theories into one convenient place about who is Monaka. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Emperor Big D for all the updates on the channel, a preview of upcoming content, and much more. Monaka, clearly Lord Beerus' trump card in the Universe 6 versus Universe 7 tournament. And on this video, we are going to talk about 7 possible theories, many of which came from all of you, about who Monaka actually is. And joining me on this video, because it is a quote response or a follow-up to a video we did on his channel, which I will link down below, even though I'm sure most of you already did see it. Please welcome Rhymestyle.
You can try again. Bonus points to those who know where that's from.
I don't know where it's from.
It's only the greatest anime of all time, and it's probably going to catch some flack to those who have no clue what I'm talking about.
Hunter.
Yes.
Once you say greatest anime of all time, I knew it. I knew that was it.
Yeah, surprise. Dragon Ball Z is not my favorite anime. It's up there, but Hunter x Hunter has my heart forever. I might also seen it. You know why?
I might just edit that part out. I'm not going to, but I should. Let's talk about Monaka. So everybody's done their videos. You've done a very big video about it, massive views, which I was on. And we promised the people in that video we were going to take their theories, and some of them were also our theories, and compile them together. We were originally going to do 5, but there were just 2 extra ones that were just so damn sweet, like the 2 titties on Monaka's chest. And we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about 7. We're going to give you guys 7 theories about who Monaka might actually be. And of course, if there's a theory on here that you think is missing or that you think we should have, should be talked about, definitely leave a comment down below. And of course, you can comment on all the other theories. Now, I want to start out with the most popular theory that I've been hearing all week, actually for about 2 weeks now, Dino, and that is the theory that Monaka is a previous god of destruction. Because for a little bit of reference for the fans who may have missed it or may not be aware, don't remember, on Dragon Ball Super episode 35, we find out that Whis and Beerus are hiding something about Monaka's true identity. And Whis tells Beerus, when are you going to tell him who he really is? And for some reason, Beerus is afraid of Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo finding out who Monaka really is. The question is, right, why would they hide this? But that seems to be a popular theory, that Monaka was a god of destruction before Beerus.
Like, Beerus has a lot of faith in him. A lot of faith. And I feel like, just knowing Beerus' character, he wouldn't just pick a random person at all, especially with the possibility of losing to his brother. Yeah. Think about that.
Losing the Earth's good food.
It's not just losing to his brother, but it's also losing his food source. He would never, ever, ever sacrifice something like that, ever. And because of that, Monaka, the only thing I think of is Monaka is very, very powerful. He has to be. And for something to be that powerful, I can only think of the level of deities, because obviously Goku being a Super Saiyan God when he fought Beerus, the only thing I can see that could beat Beerus is another god. So that's why what we said in my video originally is he could have been wait, is this the X god destruction or a god destruction theory?
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I do want to also point out that Golden Frieza got himself to a ridiculously powerful level, and he's not a god. So it is a possibility that Monaka is just really strong and not a god. But what makes sense, it would make sense because of the way that he was been built up, talking about Monaka versus Frieza. Now, I do want to point out that in the original Battle of Gods movie, not the arc, but the movie, there is a line where Whis tells Goku, hey, maybe if when Beerus passes away, you can take a spot. Now, a lot of people have points to that line. They've said, oh, well, the previous god has to die. Possibly, but we don't know that for sure, number one. And number two, it's possible that, maybe Monaka got tired of being the god of destruction, or maybe him and Beerus fought, and Beerus maybe barely edged him out to get the spot. We really don't know the history of the god of destructions as of this video. We don't know exactly how it works. We just kind of speculate and know a little bit of information. So that theory, I think, is very plausible. Now, number 2 on our list is characters that we've already seen.
This is obviously the troll of the community. The trolls of the community.
Yeah,
go ahead.
We pretty much took all these and put them all into one category here. I've heard Broly, I've heard Gohan, I've heard Future Trunks, Grandpa Gohan, Tao. Like, again, a lot of this is trolling comments. It's not Broly. It's not Future Trunks. Get the fanboyism out of your freaking spirit. It's not any of these people, all right? Another one I heard is the Ozato theory. I did a video, which I will link down below, about who Ozato actually is, and Monaka is not Ozato. So check out that video if you haven't already seen it. I am a little skeptical of it being a character we've already seen, with the exception of one, which I'm going to say for the end, because there is one theory that I think
actually, that one is actually kind of decent. And I could see it possible, which we'll discuss later. So stay tuned. You gotta watch the whole video.
You gotta watch the whole video. Don't skip around. So is there, honestly, you know, let's use critical thinking. Is there any character from Dragon Ball, the entire franchise, you know, pre this arc, like, you know, from the past, that could be Monaka? I think no, but what do you think?
No way. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think it is either.
It's too ridiculous.
Yeah, number 3, God of Destruction from another universe. We talked about this a little bit earlier too, and on the other video that we did. Maybe Monaka's from a different universe, and Beerus just happens to know him. Maybe he came to visit Universe 7, and they fought, and Beerus was like, wow, you're pretty strong. And then maybe when they went to go pick him up, they actually went to the other universe. We don't know.
What I was going to say about that is the only reason why we say that is because again, if Monaka is as powerful as, you know, Beerus says he is, he has to be a god. If not an ex-god, it could be a god.
Or at least a prodigy like Frieza. We have to also, it could be a prodigy.
Right. But what I do want to point out is the likeliness of this being an ex or another god from another universe is a bit low, because remember, this is Team Universe 7 versus Universe 6.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I didn't really think about this when we originally mentioned it.
And one thing I will add too is that Champa, if let's say they win and they find out that he is a god from the universe, Champa could be like, wait a minute, yeah, you can't use him. That's not fair to me. Despite Champa cheating so much in this tournament so far. That's right, changing the rules.
Hey, for all we know, this could actually happen. What if? And watch actually me call it. What if actually what happens is Universe 7 wins? Turns out Monaka is from another universe as another god of destruction. And then it starts a huge fight between Beerus and Choppa, and it takes it to the conclusion to the arc with an epic showdown of the true battle gods. What if that actually happens? That'd be insane. Well,
I've been waiting to see that for a while. I mean, the Toyotaro manga captured that so amazing, and we never saw it in the anime yet. The manga is better than the anime in a lot of panels. I do want to say this: if Monaka is a god of destruction from another universe, that tells me that there's absolutely almost a zero. There's absolutely no chance that they won't visit that universe. I just feel like if they're really going to reveal that he is a god from another universe, I feel like it's going to open up the door to even more episodes, video games, etc.
Which, by the way, April 4th, there's going to be a new interview coming out between Taro and Toriyama. And I think in the newest Jump, it might be Weekly Jump or just Jump. And it discusses the future of Dragon Ball Super. So maybe we'll get revelations of what's going to happen next, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll toss it up there.
It's going to be a very interesting interview. Most of you might see this video after that interview, so we'll see. Probably not, but I'm sure some of you will. Now, number 4, we're going to get wacky now. I've had a few comments that I've read on your video that we did. I was on your channel for that. Beerus's wife is Monaka.
Yeah, I saw Beerus's wife and I saw Beerus's boyfriend. This is kind of a weird one.
People being wacky.
I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of a weird one. Another one is Beerus's son. Beerus's son.
I haven't read that one, but okay, that's another one. Okay.
I saw that one. Well, I figured another possibility is he has to be someone in his family or something. Because, like, again, there's a reason why Beerus trusts him a lot. But again, I also don't think that family could be one, just because due to the fact that
wouldn't Champa know? Right?
Number one, Champa would know, and, well, he might not necessarily know, but 2, there should be a better resemblance. I mean, he should at least be purple. So, toss it out there.
Yeah, tossing it out there.
Although I will point out that Turbo was dating a robot thing, so...
No, you're talking about the little alien head thing, right? The
alien head thing, robot thing, whatever the hell it was. So, for all we know, Monaka is actually a girl. It just sounds like a dude. Who knows?
As far as we know, he's male, but that might be part of a red herring, too. So we gotta be open to this.
I want to ask the people below who can come up with the funniest and wackiest. Like, you or some wacky ones from us and from what we read this past week.
We're not even done yet.
If you can come up with the wackiest Monaka theory of who he is, comment below right now, and we'll post some of our favorite ones on Twitter. So get creative with this one.
Number 5, possibly Monaka is related to Dabura. and possibly a Makaio Shin. I think there is some possibility here. I have my doubts because I feel like if he was a Makaio Shin, that the Kaioshin, the Supreme Kais would have noticed it.
They would have noticed, yeah, exactly. Because they know everything.
And as far as I know, we haven't seen a scene where he has God Ki. So that's another thing that might actually shut off the whole God of Destruction thing, because we haven't seen him power up either. But still, like, nobody's made any reference to him having any kind of God Ki or anything.
Well,
so
technically, they haven't really said. Has anyone mentioned so far that they can sense his power?
Nobody has, and that's the thing. Maybe he does have it, maybe he doesn't have it. My point is, I wanted to make clarification that we haven't seen any theories that go against that. Yeah, I don't know if he's a Makaio Shin. And for those who do not know, I talked about this on the video I did with Dino, but for those of you on my channel who don't know, the Makaio Shin are a group of evil Kais that Toriyama had spoken about years ago in an interview. We have not seen these evil Kais whatsoever in any of the material. They weren't in any of the movies. The only character that could possibly, now remember what I'm telling you, possibly, do not go around saying Geekdom said this, confirmed, possibly be a Makaio Shin is Demigra, because of the way he looks and because of the fact that he is essentially an evil Kai, or an evil god or whatever. But they never say he's a Makaio Shin. What do you think the chances are of Monaka being one?
Honestly, I'm very unlikely. Like, I know Toriyama talked about it before, but knowing his ability to forget stuff, he probably forgot about that. So I don't see, unless he just happened to go back and reread his interviews and think, you know what, let me actually introduce this. I think it's very unlikely.
Agreed. Now, next one, Monaka is just a fraud, just a regular guy.
And this is the complete opposite spectrum of what we're talking about, how either he's extremely strong or he's a joke. Now, to cover as to why he's possibly a fraud, there's two events. Although I will mention last week's translations was kind of iffy. Last week, it was mentioned that he passed out during Kamehameha. Did you read the actual translation to that?
Yeah, he said that he was frozen during the Kamehameha, but that doesn't mean that he was frozen out of fear or anything like that. Because you have to remember what Beerus said, that from what I understand about this character, it seems like when he's just when he's got his guard down, he's kind of like whatever, which most of us are. I mean, Goku sucker punched him and he ate the punch and was crying, got teary-eyed. But that doesn't mean that when he powers up, he's not dangerous. You got to remember that, guys. People are saying he's at a transformation. That's all possible, but if you're walking down the street and some guy punches you in the face, that's a sucker punch. Whereas if you're ready to fight, you're ready to fight, and you're at a different energy level.
Yeah, the other thing is, since original Monaka was revealed, they said he's not much, but when you corner him, he can really bare his fangs. So
that's right.
Two things. Either one, he is really, really weak, and for all we know, he's just going to get knocked out in the first 2 seconds and not actually get to the point where he bears those fangs. Or two, I don't know why I said three. Or two, he actually is really, really powerful. Because the thing that bothers me about last week is we made it seem like the secret identity of Monaka is his weak guy, but then how Beerus said, he once incinerated a planet by just existing, basically, just by looking at it. He seemed very serious. Now, I will point out in the most recent episode of Dragon Ball Super, there's one scene that kind of caught my attention. There's a scene when they blew up and quick spoiler alert to those who didn't watch it, but I'm sure you should have watched it by the time this video goes live. There's a quick scene where when the barrier blows up and Vegeta powers up, they look over at Monaka and he's just sitting unfazed with the glass around him. And both Piccolo and Vegeta and Piccolo and Goku are like, wow, just like a true master. Like, he didn't even he must have known that he wasn't going to get hit or something. But the way that scene was animated and presented, I feel like they're giving him too much credit. So again, this goes back to what we were saying. He's either extremely powerful on the level of a deity or a god or a prodigy, or he's kind of a fraud and then he's not that strong at all. And the only thing that bugs me at that point is why would Beerus add him to his team? And why would he, one of the most serious characters in all of Dragon Ball, why would he put so much faith in him? Especially at the possibility of number one, losing to his brother, and two, losing his food source. Yeah, you got to hear me out, guys, all right? Let's use that beautiful thing that we have in between our ears, our brains, okay? I've read a lot of people say that Beerus put this guy in the tournament to encourage Goku. The reason why I throw that theory out the window is, number one, it makes no logical sense for Beerus to risk losing this tournament just to encourage Goku. Number two, why would he insist on Monaka going on last? That doesn't make any sense to me. One person said, well, maybe he knows Goku will win. He doesn't know Goku will win. Look what happened with the Frost situation and Vegeta and Hito being so damn strong. Beerus does not really know what Universe 6's guys are coming to. That's number two. And again, number three, which is where I destroy this theory about him being weak, is, again, why would Beerus put a guy who's weak in this tournament?
Then the other theory is, well, maybe he didn't know he was weak when they found him. Well, why didn't Whis just say, hey, this guy's weak, Lord Beerus, let's find another Earthling and then bring in, like, somebody else from Earth, like 18 or somebody. Again, the theory, when you use logical sense and critical thinking with character motivations, it makes no sense. If Monaka's weak, it has to be something that he's been hiding from both Whis and Beerus. I'm not saying that he's definitely not weak, but I'm saying that in order for that to be the case, Beerus and Whis have to have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the only way it makes sense.
Actually, let me toss one out too. Actually, so the first time that, and this is a theory that's not going around the community. What if actually the first time that Monaka and Beerus fought, it actually wasn't fighting, but what if it was something as stupid as like a game of chess or just junking?
Well, didn't Beerus specifically say he's the strongest guy I ever fought? I could have sworn he used that word. I mean,
fought in what? I fight people in Pokemon all the time, and I say, hey, I fought, Afro Senju, but I didn't say, like, fought could mean so many things.
But why would he put him in the tournament, though, if he's a pussy?
That's what it always goes back to.
It goes back to that. He has to be. He has to have some kind of secret form or something, or some kind of secret power. Yeah.
I honestly think that it comes down to this. One that makes most sense to me is he has to be some kind of god destruction that's like kind of gentle, but at the same time fierce. Like, you can sucker punch him, you could probably beat him in a fight.
Or maybe he's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where he's a nice guy, kind of a pussy, and then when you do the wrong thing, he transforms to this fucking monster that can't be controlled and blows up universes.
Yep, that's possible.
That makes sense to me. Yep. That makes sense to me.
Let me ask a question to those who are watching. Pick a side right now. Which side do you believe the most? And I want you guys to hashtag fraud or hashtag God. And God doesn't necessarily have to mean God. Like, I'm just saying in terms of like either he's powerful or weak.
Or you can hashtag fraud side. You can also hashtag strong guy and pussy if you want. But use Dino's tags. They're a lot less vulgar.
Whatever you prefer. Yeah. Hashtag fraud or hashtag God. Comment below and let's see where the community is in terms of like whether or not he's the strongest or one of the weakest from the entire fighter. Let's see where the community stands. But what's the next one? Actually, this one I really like.
Now, I said this one like a joke. I tweeted this out as a joke, and people like blew up over this. Those of you who are not on Twitter, it's at Emperor Big D. Oracle fish. Monaka is the oracle fish, and the only reason why I thought this is because of the lips and the eyes and the way they have that blanket look on their face. A lot of people were like, "Wait a minute, he does kind of look like that." And I'll be honest, if the big revelation is that the oracle fish, see, here's where it gets funny. If they really want to get creative with this, and this is all headcanon, they could do a thing where the oracle fish predicted that he would be the one to win this thing under his other form, and maybe the oracle fish had the transformation into this Monaka, and maybe he told Lord Beerus that I'm going to be responsible for the victory here as a premonition, and Lord Beerus believed him.
Yep.
It's wacky. I was only saying it as a joke, but it's possible knowing Toriyama and how wacky he is.
What you called it? What you called this?
I mean, the lips, dude. The lips. He's got the same lips. He looks like a fish with nipples.
Same lips, and they got that roundish face. I mean, he doesn't have the ears, but again, that's something you can grow when you transform.
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, I want to hear from the community the wackiest Monaka theories you have, like as wacky as possible. Like, obviously, it doesn't have to be real. It just as funny as possible. Give us your funniest ones in the comment section below. So I want to see thousands of comments on this video.
There will be thousands, I'm sure. Yeah, so those are our 7. We took the 7 most popular fan theories of who Monaka actually is. We're going to find out probably in a few weeks, I would say. It's not going to be right away. It'll probably take a few weeks before we actually know who Monaka is. But I look forward to hearing from you guys. Definitely put some thought into this and let us know. And, of course, subscribe to Rhyme Style if you haven't. I'm sure most of you guys already know who he is. But hey, man, it was fun doing this.
It was a lot of fun doing it again.
Yes, and I love the mystery aspect of Dragon Ball. So let us know what you think down below. Those are our 7 theories. The 7 from you guys that we picked out. There's probably a lot more, but I think that covers it. We'll catch you down the road.
Peace.